Hello everyone, my name is Uros and welcome back to my channel. Today I really am playing this beautiful 1989 guitar for the very last time. Okay, so let me take you a while back and tell you a short story that revolves around this guitar, my history at Cine Music School both as a student and as a teacher later on, and why I had to give up two of my favorite classical guitars. I don't know how many of you can remember the year 1994, but arguably in the history of cinema this was one of the strongest years ever. Some of my favorite films were released that year. For example, The Shawshank Redemption, Forrest Gump, Legends of the Fall, and even The Lion King. So I was about 7 years old then, so I only got to watch The Lion King. But in the years to follow I came to appreciate the beautiful storylines of these films and also the gorgeous music. One of my all-time favorite soundtracks is also Legends of the Fall, composed by the great James Horner. I remember the film vividly, but the thing that actually stuck with me the most was the music. I feel like James Horner had this immense ability of capturing the emotions of a film and bringing it to the audience very well. So I had the privilege to meet James and listen to his lecture at FIMU Vienna in 2013, I believe it was. This was just 2 years before his tragic passing in a plane accident. I remember this lecture very vividly and how much of an impact it really had on me back in my study years. Contrary to my expectations, James was this really humble and gentle human being, and a few things really surprised me in that lecture. First of all, he mentioned that he never ever listens to his music. So all of those beautiful films he has composed, he never ever listened anymore to them and always moved further to new works he was involved with. When the organizer of the event played back some of his beautiful examples of previous work like Braveheart or Titanic, James got really emotional and said that he forgot how it felt when he composed that music. Okay, so let's go 15 years back in time now. I started playing guitar when I was 9 years old at Cine Music School, and my first guitar teacher was Igor Kos, who unfortunately passed away in 2014. Some of you might remember a memoriam video that I did back then. Still to this day I remember my first study years in Cine quite well, some events more than others of course, but one of the things that really stuck with me is actually this guitar that I have on loan from Cine Music School. The interesting thing is actually that I never got to see this guitar until I was about 14 years old. My first guitar teacher, Igor, he always used to play a different instrument, not this one. But he always said that in that brown leather case there is a really special guitar he will show me when the time is right. I later learned the reason why this guitar was not used for teaching anymore, and it was because it was almost completely destroyed. As you can see here, the marks. I think that in all the years teaching and playing student concerts and everything, it was played by many different students with a pick actually. So sadly, this guitar was really wrecked even when I was still a kid at this music school. When I was 14 years old, I got my first prize at a very low-key regional guitar competition. And the prize was actually free recording at a radio recording studio in Koper, Slovenia. I was really excited about this opportunity, and right about that time I'd had some issues with my own guitar, which was a Camps student model, and it was just that in the high positions the guitar was very much out of tune. Back then I didn't know it only had to do with the strings, so if I changed the strings, this problem would be sorted. But anyway, it just so happened that Igor, my former guitar teacher, for the first time showed me this guitar that I never got to experience before, and that was sitting in that brown leather case all this time. So he showed this guitar to me, and the first thing that I remember is the smell of the guitar. It smelled very nice to me. It was that almost like moist barn kind of a smell, and I also loved the way the guitar looked despite all these scratches and the damages that were done to the guitar. I immediately noticed a thing that is really typical for concert instruments, and that is how much more bass you can get out of the guitar. It's not that sort of mid-rangey, plasticky kind of tone that is typical for very cheap guitar, but it actually had some more volume to it, some more shape and very prominent basses. So I really loved that about it. So I brought this guitar to the recording studio. I think I did first a few short flute and guitar duos with another student, and then I came back a few months later with my own guitar, recording some pieces from Toroba and Sor, if I remember well. I promise I will find these recordings and I will publish them on my channel, but I haven't found them yet. Okay, so this is the story behind this Mirko Hotko guitar and why it always has been kind of special to me. And now let's move about 15 years forward in time, and it's year 2012 when I became a regular teacher at the same music school I used to attend as a student. In 2012 I got to experience this guitar for the second time actually, and I began playing on it quite regularly. Of course, I really took care that I didn't damage it any further. One of the first things I did as a guitar teacher here in Sežana was actually to arrange a full restoration of this guitar. I really loved the guitar, so I wanted to play it more, but it was just too dangerous. It was a high probability that a hole would appear in the soundboard, etc., etc. So the restoration was done by my good friend Sebastian's father, who is a luthier, and he did a great job with this guitar. He exchanged all the frets, of course, but most of all he did a lot of work on the soundboard to protect it for the next generations to come. And my students always loved this guitar as well. And in the next few years we also ordered a beautiful spruce top guitar built by Michele Della Giustina. I believe it was in 2016. And so we had two fantastic concert guitars at our disposal. Now 2019-20 was actually my last year as a guitar teacher here in Sežana. I have so many great memories from my 8 years teaching here. Especially every year my students and I decided on one creative project that we did together. And one of my favorites is actually the Sound of Silence video that you might have seen on this channel. So this is the reason I had to give up two of my favorite classical guitars ever. Coming back to the story of James Horner, his lecture in Vienna, and how this experience really stuck with me, I decided to do something really special and meaningful before I returned this guitar to the school. So I decided to take one of James Horner's favorite themes, the Ludlows from film Legends of the Fall, which I really love, and arranged it for guitar solo. I recorded it the same day here in my music studio in Završek, Slovenia, and then also shot video right outside the music studio. Now we have these beautiful peak fall colors, as we say, and it's gorgeous outside, so I decided to perform on this guitar for the very last time, and also record a video to remember this guitar in the future. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are not subscribed yet to this channel, please feel free to do so, and press the bell as well. Like this video and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for your continuing support, and I hope to see you on this channel very soon again. Ciao!